Welcome to our moon ritual for November 5th. The moon is in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. It's a fiery sign for beginnings, the beginning of the zodiac. So it's a great place to start new things. But it's also in an energy that's governed by the deity Yama, the god of death. The beginnings and the endings, these two really go together. We don't have beginnings without endings or endings without beginnings. So later in our activity today, we'll be looking at what is wanting to be created or birthed through us and what might be reaching its end of cycle or end of life and what is needing to come to a close. But first, we'll start with an asana practice from Bree. Hi, Bree.
Hey, Mandy. Thank you for that explanation. I have a practice planned for us today that's focusing on the death and rebirth of the self and focusing a lot on the death of the ego, which is something that in yoga we really try to, that's the ultimate goal, is to allow the ego to not take over and to always remember that there is an indwelling self that is never changing, and kind of this unconditional love that we are blessed to be aware of. Really, humans are one of the only beings that are aware of this ego. I'm going to explain a little bit how yoga allows us to get to this point of knowing, and it's through asana, which we're going to do today, pranayama, which is breathing practices, meditation, selfless service, or also known as karma yoga. So just doing deeds out in the community that are selfless. And then something we call svadhyaya, which is a self-study. So being able to go inside and into your history and kind of study how you have become the person that you are. And then lastly, through Shavasana, which is the corpse pose in yoga. And that's actually where we're going to start today. So if you want to come down onto your backs, you can lay here in whatever position feels comfortable for you. You can support under your knees, or you can just come into a traditional corpse pose, also known as Shavasana. And you can have your hands down on the floor for more grounding, or you can choose to bring them up towards the sky for more receiving the earth's energies. So in Shavasana, we usually do this at the end of the yoga practice in order for our bodies to kind of settle and allow the medicine to do its work internally. But today we're starting with it because this full moon is bringing that death and rebirth. So I want to start with this notion of death of the ego. So I want you to come inside your body and first feel your body against the ground. Maybe first focusing on the backs of your ankles or any part of your feet touching the ground. Come up the legs, noticing any parts of the lower legs, the backs of the knees, and the upper legs. Come up to notice your hips, and the back side of your hips touching the ground. And come up to notice your spine, your back side of your torso. Try and allow it to relax down into the ground. And then notice any parts of your arms and your hands. Allow those to relax, sink down into the support of the ground. And then finally up into the back of your head. Try and allow any thoughts that might come up to just sink down towards the back of your head. Allow the ground to support those thoughts. Try to just let the ground allow you to let them go. Let them sink into the earth. Knowing that you can pick them up later after your practice or whenever they need to come back to you, they will. And let's maybe take a few deeper breaths, filling up from the low belly to the mid belly and then up into the chest. And then exhaling that same way, pushing out through the low belly. As you take these deeper breaths, you can imagine the breath as like a circle. So as you inhale, it's coming again in through the low belly, the mid belly, and up into the chest. And then as you exhale, imagine the breath coming out through the front body, back down into the pelvis. So taking 2 more breaths like this, inhaling from the pelvis, up to the chest, and exhaling back down towards the pelvis. And then letting go of that breath practice. Just allow yourself to breathe naturally. Allow yourself to relax your body into the ground just for a few more moments. And then when you feel ready, you can start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and blink your eyes open. And we're going to stay on the floor a little bit longer. If you want to bend your knees and just take some twists side to side, going left and right slowly with your knees. Start to warm up your spine a little bit. And then we're going to bring both legs over to one side, and almost like you're going to get on your side. And you can make this a little more comfortable with a block between your knees or a pillow or a blanket. And you want your knees and your hips to basically be at a 90-degree angle. And then you're going to reach the bottom hand out front and then bring the top hand on top of your bottom hand. And then with your inhale, you're going to reach that top hand up above your head. And then you're going to stretch and twist over to the opposite side. And then bring the arm down towards your hip and back over on top of that other hand. So in a kind of big circular motion, you're going to bring that hand up, over, down, and forward. So you can use your breath, inhaling as you reach up and out, and then exhaling down, then back to your hand. So try that 3 more times at your own pace. And then when you've finished that, you can switch sides. I'm going to get up and turn all the way around so you can still see me. But you just have to bring your knees over to the opposite side, again, bringing them into 90-degree angles. And bringing that bottom arm in front of your face, and then the top arm comes on top of there. And again, you're going to reach up above your head and then behind you for a twist. Down towards your hips. And then all the way back to that hand. So again, pairing the movement with your breath, inhaling up and over to the side. And exhaling down and forward. So try that 3 more times at your own pace. And once you finish those 3, you can come back onto your back. And let's just allow the knees to rest in towards each other. And just take a moment to notice your body, notice any changes, any aliveness that is coming up, any circulation. And then when you're ready, you can turn to your side. And we're going to do one more posture. So coming up all the way to standing. Okay, so here in standing, we're going to do a little bit of a flow. So if you want to come to the front of your mat. And again, feeling down into the ground, feeling your feet rooted. You can close your eyes for a moment and bring your hands to prayer in front of your chest. And coming into your breath, we'll take an inhale and reach the arms out and up, looking up towards the ceiling. And exhale all the way down to a forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift, And exhale all the way down into downward facing dog. So just walking the dog out a little bit, stretching into the hamstrings, the backs of the legs. And take an inhale here. And exhale over to plank. We'll take one deep breath here. And on your next exhale, come back up to downward dog. And then take a deep inhale here. Maybe reach your right leg up and exhale forward into a lunge. Just establish your lunge here, rooting down into that right foot. On your next inhale, you're going to push up into crescent lunge. And let's just take a few breaths here. Establish your lunge and feel the ground again into your feet. And let's take a deep inhale and look up, and exhale, open up to a warrior two. And again, here in this warrior, feel the ground against your feet. Feel the power in your legs. And we're going to try those arm circles here in this position, going back and forth between crescent and warrior two. So as you inhale, you'll lift that left foot up and come up into crescent. And then exhale back down into warrior two. Okay, so again, inhaling that left arm down and then up to a crescent. And exhale down into warrior two. We'll do that one more time. So inhaling the left arm down and up. And exhale back down into warrior two. And take a deep inhale here. This time when you exhale, we'll circle the hands down towards that right leg. Take an inhale and then exhale that right leg back into downward dog. And again, take a few breaths here, allowing yourself to root down into your hands and your feet. Allow your breath to slow down a little bit. And then on your next inhale, reach the left leg up. And exhale that left leg forward into your lunge. Taking a deep breath here. On your next inhale, push into that left foot and reach the arms up into a crescent lunge. Just establishing your rootedness into both your feet once again in this position. Noticing any differences from the left to the right. And take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, reach down into warrior two. Notice the shift in your weight. Okay, so again, we're going to take those arm circles. So as you inhale, reach that right arm down and come up into crescent. And exhale back down into warrior two. So inhaling that right arm down and up. And exhale down into warrior two. And one more time, inhaling your right arm down and up, reaching that right ankle, the back of the right ankle coming up, and exhaling down into warrior two. And take an inhale here, and exhale, circle those arms towards your left foot. And let's go back into downward dog one more time. Again, allow your breath to slow down, your pulse to soften. And then take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring the knees down. And we'll just make your way into that cross-legged position, Sukhasana, the easy seat. And let's just take a moment here in our easy seat so you can close your eyes. You can, again, rest your hands down on your knees for grounding, or bring the palms up for receiving. Notice your sit bones on the ground. Notice the ground supporting your posture. Imagine the top of your head being kind of pulled up towards the heavens, but still allowing your face and your shoulders to relax down. Just for a few more moments, allowing any thoughts to be let go down into the earth. And when you're ready, you can slowly blink your eyes open, come back into the room. Hopefully everyone is feeling that little bit of that death of the ego and rebirth of how we want to show up.
Definitely felt my ego dying in those crescent lunges. And a bit of rebuilding in that strength as well, and in the opening postures. I really enjoyed that practice. Thank you, Bree, for that asana class. I feel much more grounded in my body and ready for our activity. Before we begin our activity, I'd like to start with a call and response chant to the moon. Are you up for that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll chant Om Cham Chandraya Namaha. Om clears the space, preparing for the chant. Cham is the root, the Bij mantra, the root mantra for the moon. Chandra is the moon's name, Chandraya. Namaha, Namaha, reverence. We bow reverence, or we honor the moon. So we'll begin. Wherever you're at in your breathing cycle, just take an inhale and let it all out. We'll begin together with the next inhale. And you're ready with an inhale. Om Cham Chandraya Namaha.
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 Last one. Om Cham Chandraya Namaha.
Om Cham Chandraya Namaha.
Rest in the silence for a moment. Bow your head toward your heart if that's comfortable for you. The moon is our intuition. The moon is our heart. Thank you for sharing in that chant, in that practice with me. We'll begin with our activity. So if you have your notebook, I'll be using my whiteboard today. You could grab your notebook, a pen, any colors that you would like. It's not too overcomplicated for our activity today, but depending on how creative or much you like to get your art supplies out, that might impact what you want to do here. So from your blank page, we're going to draw two intersecting moons. Essentially, we're making a Venn diagram with two circles. So you'll have an intersection in the middle. Each side will be filling in a little bit of information. So on your choice, where do you want to put what's being birthed in your life? Do you want to put that on the left or do you want to put that on the right? You decide. And then you'll be easily guided to make the next decision where you want to place what's being ended, what's coming to a close, what's dying. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So we'll begin with what's dying. What is coming to an end? This could be projects, it could be relationships, it could be habits or patterns. So just let whatever comes to you be enough. Let that be what you write down. You could draw shapes, or if colors come to mind, place those on the page. Need not be a rigid response. It can be a feeling tone. We'll have about 3 minutes to just freestyle that which is coming to a close. This is perfect for the season as we are in the autumn season and the leaves are truly falling from the trees. Naturally, this is a natural process. There's nothing wrong with this process. Be a full, complete thought either. If it's just something that's kind of hanging around your aura, but you're not really sure what it is, you can draw a shape or something like that. Let's do another 30 to 60 seconds here. That which is no longer needed in your life right now. All right, so the next section, you've probably got it already, and if you've started, that's totally okay. But let's write in the second circle that which wants to be manifested, that which wants to be birthed through you or created from you, from your energy, from your spirit. This could be big dreams, your big, hairy, audacious dream. This could be something small and simple that you've wanted to implement into your life. This could be something that you know is coming, even if maybe you're not sure you're wanting it or ready for it. What is being created right now in your life? Freestyle here for maybe another 90 seconds on that which is coming through you. It may be something that you know about already, or even something you don't expect to show up on your page. You can always return to your body and feel your sitting bones making contact with the earth, as Bree had us do at the end of our yoga practice. And see if there's anything else that comes up once you make contact in your body and with the earth. All right, let's take 3 breaths together at your own pace. Expand your rib cage on the inhale. You can sigh it out through your mouth audibly if that feels good, or just nice and slowly as you do naturally. There's no right or wrong way to do this. As you breathe, you could look at your page and just kind of allow your gaze to float back and forth, just naturally with your breath from what's ending and what's beginning. And from here, if there's anything that really connects or any messages that you're receiving about what you have on your page, perhaps something needs to end for something to begin and it's right there in front of you. Or maybe it's not so out in the open and you have to tap back into your intuition. But what needs to happen? And maybe it's just one thing. I have 3 things on my page. You might have 10 things on your page. You might have one. Depending on what that is for you, just sense into where is the middle path? What's the middle ground that you can see for yourself, or even a step, an action step that you could take for this process, this liminal space between death and birth? And there's no wrong answers. Could be a feeling, an emotion. I guess it could be an action step. Could just draw a shape or fill it in with a color tone that feels right for you. Let's take about another 30 seconds to a minute to finish up any lingering intuitive thoughts or feelings. One last time, let's tap back into our breath, just a natural breath, and allow your gaze to float once more back and forth and just sense into any feeling tones that are remaining. It's nothing to do with these tones, just to acknowledge and let them be here. Sometimes our intuitive process just needs space to happen. So we'll take a few moments here to be with what's in front of us. If any sticky or prominent feelings do arise, you could jot those down to revisit later, to spend some time with through this moon cycle. If there's a renewed energy or an excited energy, let that brew, let that be there throughout this entire moon cycle. The full moon is often about releasing what's no longer needed or what's not for us. It's the taking the harvest from what we planted over the new moon. And that is this process, this death and rebirth. I'll pause, Bree, if you have any comments, anything you want to share from the activity, or anything you want to jump in with before we draw our full moon tarot card.
All right. Like pathways, and there's a lot of what I'd like to die being connected to what is being birthed in many different ways. Like, for example, I wrote down expectations and dying, um, and it, and then I had arms going basically to almost every thing I wrote down that I'd like to birth. Um, and that just shows me that I have a lot of work to do with dropping my expectations. I think that's probably what I'll end up focusing on for this full moon, is just letting go of expectations and letting whatever intuitively comes into my life, just letting it come and then knowing that if something comes and it's not supposed to be there, it will also die away too. And so I really appreciate and the feeling that came up in my body with kind of going back and forth between each circle was a tightness in my chest and in my stomach, especially in my lower stomach. So those are some feelings I think, or a feeling that I have to look forward to while I'm working through letting go of expectations. But I think knowing that will make me feel a little less stressed over it, or a little less, I don't know, of a need to shy away from it or reject it. I really would like to work on accepting the feelings that come into my body and just being with them. So this activity definitely puts some things into perspective and are allowing me to see a little more clearly what my goals are. So thank you.
Yeah, and Bree is talking about something really important here, and that's touching into the feeling tone that arises, the sensations that arise in the body when something is in front of us, or maybe it's not even in front of us, it's a thought that is going on. Our body is going to give us signals for how it feels about that. And as Bree, as you move through this month and releasing expectations, that is such a big, important one. I love how you described like connections to each of the other things and the tightness that it brought in your belly and your chest when thinking about these expectations. This is your signpost. This is your, when those feelings come up now this month, it's your reminder, oh, maybe I'm holding some expectations on this. And your body is communicating that with you. And Bree, I know you know this. I'm sharing this with anybody who's watching and doesn't know this or doesn't know the value of our body sensations and the way our body communicates with us. Do you have anything to add to that? I feel like there's so much to be said here.
Yeah, I feel like we could have a long conversation, but no, I think you said it wisely that and this is what a big part of what yoga is about, and trying to let go of that ego is realizing that the sensations in our body are telling us something, and also that they're not always going to be there. So I think as far as what I've learned about noticing those sensations in my body is that the less I reject them and the more I stay with them, the easier they leave. They die away. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's been said that our sensations are sometimes like they act like toddlers. And if you think about a toddler having a little tantrum in the grocery store somewhere, and often the child just needs to be acknowledged. They need to be seen in their moment. And our feelings can be like that. Like, just want to be acknowledged that I'm here. But often our conditioning, our society, a number of external factors kind of tell us that our sensations or our feelings aren't appropriate or shouldn't be expressed. And when we have that, and we all have that, everybody has that. When we have that come up, it shows up in our body. And our teacher would call them residues in the body. So we pay attention, we come to our yoga mat, we pay attention to the sensations, the residues, so that we can, as Bree has so eloquently led us through today, so they can die. So these residues can no longer need that attention from us, need our energy.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing so vulnerably. Um, Mine is up here probably for anybody to see. I just wrote down a few things, but what I'll share is the connecting thing for me right now is it's joy. It's allowing myself to feel joy in what's leaving. What some of the things that are leaving is like one-way relationships. Like I no longer engaging myself in proving myself to be somebody's friend or something for somebody. That's leaving. And what's being birthed is renewed vitality, renewed energy. And that's going to feel a little uncomfortable because my body's not used to feeling that. It's used to being a little more tight and contracted on relationships and things. So to be able to open my heart to some joy, that will help the birthing process. Joy is like the epidural to the birthing process. I don't know if that's true. I just made that up right now. But let's, let's get into our tarot card. So my card deck is what we're pulling from this time, and it is the Wandering Star Tarot, connected to astrology. We'll do a light shuffle, and I'll share with you how I split my deck. I made this up, so it's not law. You can split your deck however you want. And I'm going to take part of my deck over to the south. The south is negative energy. So I'm cutting and clearing the negative energy from my deck. And I'm going to cut towards the moon, the intuition, which is to the west, and to the east, which is to the sun. Again, what's being birthed. The sun rises anew, it's birthed anew every day. And finally, the last direction to the north. The north represents truth, the goddess Vak of speech and truth. We'll take the card from the top, and it is the King of Wands. Place it up on the screen so you can see it more clearly. The words from the King of Wands: honor, standards, wisdom, and motivation. Wands, you can think of a magic wand. You can think of that birthing process, but we're magically wanding into our life. Abracadabra. And I'll just read a snippet here. The king is wise and kind. He is a self-made man and has an endless store of enthusiasm and motivation. He knows that if you listen, you will learn. If you learn, you will love. If you love, you will heal hearts and minds. His standards for himself are impeccably high. He is a man of honor and decency. He does not judge or criticize, simply leads by example. The king suggests you soften your perceived notions about others. See people as whole beings with their pain and quirks and intricacies. Marvel at the complexities and that make us all unique. He asks that you quiet your mind, open your heart, still your spirit, and listen.
I feel like that's a really great card for this time of year. Listening, I feel like, is a big part of going into the season of recharging and renewing, and then we were just talking about listening to our bodies. So yeah, I
Yeah,
like this card for us.
I love this card for us. It feels very aligned, and we need this energy. We need this open-hearted yet firm energy to be with that which is ending, and that's that which is being created within us.
Thank you, Mandy. I feel like I'm completely ready for this full moon, and I'm excited for what is going to be birthed. I'm excited to hear from you about how all of this plays out for you too.
Likewise. Likewise, Bree. As a reminder from last time, Bree told us there's nothing we have to do with this information. This is enough. We can continue on with our life and let our intuition work it out. Our next new moon is on November 19th in the sign of Scorpio. So Mars ruled Scorpio. It's a water sign.
Well, thank you for everyone that's joined us today, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. And again, if you like our rituals and want to continue to follow us, you can hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. And yeah, many thanks.
I was waiting for many moon blessings. Oh, I love it. Awesome.
Many moon blessings.
Many moon blessings. We'll see you next time.